Hi everyone, and welcome to another week of strength training workouts. We are joined again by Jen. Thanks for coming, Jen. And as you know, these are being hosted by PRF, Para Rowing Foundation, and we're so excited to continue this series of at-home workouts. So for today's workout, we are going to be doing a core-focused workout. So we'll be doing some work on our backs and focusing on the abdominals, and then we'll be flipping over onto our stomachs and focus on working the back muscles, which, as you know, are part of your core. So recommended equipment is going to be a band, but you can do these exercises with small hand weights or just your arms as well. So let's get started. We'll go with our warm-up first, which we're gonna do just a classic shoulder isolation exercise. So let's start with our elevation and depression. So go ahead and shrug those shoulders up towards the ears, and then exhale as you scoop the shoulders down the back, feeling the space between the shoulder and the ear. And then inhale, shrug back up, feel the vertical motion, and then exhale, drop those shoulders down. Thinking about opening the chest a little bit. We'll do about 3 more here. Enjoying the release of the depression after you build that tension in the shrug. And that's why sometimes when I'm trying to get people to move the shoulders away from the ears, the easiest way is to start with a shrug, because then you know what it feels like to do it wrong. So sometimes creating that tension means your body is more likely to welcome the antagonist to that movement. All right, 1 more. Nice big inhale as you shrug. And then exhale, release it down, melt those shoulders down the back. Lovely. Let's just do a quick look over each shoulder. Release any tension from that neck. And then we'll move into our protractions and retractions. So go ahead and take your hands out in front of you. Palms can be down or facing one another. Pick your orientation. And then we're going to protract. So push your hands away from you as far as you can. And then retract. Pull the shoulder blades back behind you. Draw the shoulders back in towards your body. It's exhale. Sweep them away. Push the shoulder blades broad. And then inhale. Draw the scapula back together. So as you protract, you're thinking expand the back east to west. And as you draw back in, you're thinking compress the space around that spinal column. Let's do 3 more. And while we're here, let's just make sure that we haven't started to elevate those shoulders. The temptation is real. So if you feel that, you can try to do 1 in a shrugged position. See how it feels. And then make sure to counteract that and bring it back down. Last one. Exhale, spread the shoulders east to west. Inhale, draw them tight to the spinal column and release those hands down. All right, 1 more set of warm-up exercises before we get rolling with our core work. So we're gonna grab our band and we're gonna start with a banded pull apart. So hands can come out in front of you, and you're gonna have these about shoulder distance apart. Palms are facing down. Think slightly depress the shoulders, and then we're gonna pull those hands, oops, a little too tight for me, east to west, thinking about punching someone on either side of you. Or I guess you could think about fist bumping, a little less violent. So think about really extending those arms, sending your limbs in opposite direction, and gaining that length through the opposition of both of your arms. Good. And we're thinking nice, strong, straight wrists. And everyone on this next one, see if they can lengthen the back of their neck just a little bit more. Gaze is right on the horizon line. And we'll do 2 more. Inhale as you come back towards center. Exhale, spread the band. Inhale, control that release. Last one. Exhale, spread. get tall. And inhale, back to center. All right, so for this next one, we're gonna take one hand, I'm gonna take my right hand, and that band is gonna go palm facing up. All right, so one hand is palm facing down, and one hand is palm facing up. All right, take your palm that's facing down and anchor that down by your hip. With your other hand, reach right out in front of you, maybe slightly out to the side of the body with a straight elbow. Yep, and now thumb is facing straight up, and we're going to draw that band across the body for a nice 45-degree angle, and then bring it back towards the midline. So this is kind of a combination of the two exercises that we did at the very beginning, our elevation and depression. So we're keeping a slight depression as we bring the band up. And then we're also thinking about a slight retraction, keeping those shoulder blades snug against that rib cage as we draw up. So it's a combo movement, requires a lot of stability. Whew. And let's do two more. As we go through, this is obviously unilateral, so we want to make sure that we're not bending towards one side or the other. Last one. Exhale up and control on the way down. All right, let's flip our grip. So opposite palm is going to face down, opposite palm faces up, and we're going to anchor the palm facing down against the hip. And then our palm up will go thumbs up, and same idea. Draw it diagonally across, and then back down. And you can kind of think that your band should actually follow the line of your arm. So if you took a picture of me with my nice banded position, it should look like it is just kind of bisecting my body in a diagonal manner. Nice work. Got a little fly here trying to bite me. And we'll do, I think, 4 more. How does that sound? Last one. And bring it down. All right, let's go ahead and anchor our bands. And you want this to be at about shoulder height when you're seated. All right, so, or a little higher. So door handle would probably be perfect. All right, go ahead and anchor your bands. All right, so once your band is anchored, we're gonna come down to our backs with our head close to our anchor point. All right, now you do wanna make sure that you are centered here on your anchor point. All right, so make sure that it's right in the middle of your forehead. All right, grab your band. Oh, actually, you know what? We're gonna start with a couple of chest lifts, okay? So take your hands behind your head, all right? Remember, you can always put a foam roller right under those knees or a rolled up towel to help support the legs, all right? And we are going to start with our chest lift. So go ahead and on an exhale, blow all the air out. Let's just do one big breath. So exhale. Really think about squeezing all the ab fibers in those upper abdominals as hard as you can. And then inhale into the backs and sides of your rib cage. All right, on this next one, we'll add that chest lift. So go ahead and exhale. Think about curling up the head, neck, and shoulders. Keep the elbows wide and draw those ribs tighter towards one another. Then inhale, release back down to the mat. Let's do 3 more. It's exhale, lift. Think chin toward the ceiling. You should be able to put an apple or a grapefruit underneath the chin and the chest. And come back down to the mat. 2 more. Exhale, lift. Blow out all that air. Let the head be heavy in the hands. And back to the mat. Last one. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower back down. Lovely. All right, now go ahead and grab your bands. Now today, I'm gonna offer a lot of options for you to do that chest lift in some of our movements. But remember, you can always keep your head, neck, and shoulders down, or you can do a couple with and a couple without. So just keep that in mind. So we're gonna start with our hands right above our shoulders, all right? And we're gonna start with a lower and lift. Let's do 2 without the chest lift. So it's exhale, bring the hands down towards the hips. Think about lengthening those hands towards the heels. And then inhale, draw it back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, reach the hands down towards the hips. Arms stay strong and straight. Inhale, come back towards the ceiling without raising the shoulders. Now let's add our chest lift. So it's exhale, hands come down, head, neck, and shoulders peel off. Think about looking about a 45-degree angle away from you. And then inhale, everything comes down. It's exhale, let the hands start the movement, and then press into the hands to really recruit the side body here as well. Use those armpits to help you pull up. And then inhale, everything returns down to the mat. We're gonna do 2 more like that, and then I'm gonna offer you another option. Exhale, peel up. Keep those armpits tight. Keep those hands reaching long. Inhale, release. Last time. Exhale, blow it out. Draw the shoulders down the back. And inhale, back towards your center. All right, now on this next one, if you can stand it, we're going to exhale all the way up. See if you can hold your curl, and we're gonna lift up towards the ceiling and then lower back down. See if you can keep that contraction in those upper abdominals. Keep that tension in the side body so the shoulder blades stay stuck on that rib cage. And we're isolating right from that shoulder joint. So we want you to picture this as a lever motion. We're just lifting and lowering right from the shoulder. Nothing else is being impacted because we're staying so strong. Let's do 2 more. Don't lose that exhale. Last one, control the band. And bring it all the way down. Nice work. All right, next set. We're gonna do that same idea, but we're gonna come out to 45-degree angles instead. So instead of coming straight down, you're gonna bring your hands out so they're wider than your shoulders, like you're gonna make a big V, okay? And from here, we'll keep the head, neck, and shoulders down for a few. You're gonna lower down to your hips again. So think about drawing a V. We're making the wide part as we come out to the sides, kind of like you're pointing towards opposite corners of your ceiling. And then we're drawing back to our hips as we bring it back down. Let's do 1 more, and then we're gonna add in our chest lift. So we're up in our high V. Let's exhale, draw the hands to the hips as you lift the chest, and then slowly return back to the mat. It's exhale, press into the hands, lengthen the arms to lift, and inhale, return to the mat. Really think about squeezing out a sponge as you use that exhale to drive the movement. And we'll do 2 more like this before we offer that hold up there. Last one here. Keep that chin slightly off the chest, and we're gonna exhale, lift, and hold. Press into the hands, and now lift while holding the curl and lower. Remember, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can do a few of these and then lower back down. If you feel this starting to bug your neck, you can always drop the head, neck, and shoulders down for a moment. Maybe do a couple reps, and then you can always add that chest lift back in when you're ready. Let's do 2 more. Isolating from that shoulder joint. Keep thinking about reaching away from the body and release everything down. Lovely. Okay, one more like this. We're gonna take it out to the sides for our snow angels. So to start, I want you reaching out away from your body in a T position, and we're going to do a couple with no chest lift. So go ahead and exhale, squeeze towards your hips. I like palms facing the hips for this one. And then inhale, bring it back out to the side. It's exhale, squeeze to the hips. Inhale, brush along the floor to come back to your T position. Let's do one more here. And then we're gonna add our chest lift back in. So it's exhale, hands to the hips, curl up, and then inhale, release back down. I actually think with the resistance, sometimes it's easier to get that curl up because you have that, that load to actually work against. So use that to really guide the movement here. And then compound that with your breath to really work in to those front abdominals. We'll do 2 more like this. Everyone check in here for a moment, and let's make sure, especially as we return to that T position, that we're keeping a slight depression to those shoulder blades. Last one like this. You know what's coming though. We're gonna add in our lift and hold. Inhale to open. Exhale, close it back up. Again, you can moderate your range of motion here. If you feel that your shoulder joint starts to get away from you a little bit, maybe just do more of like a pulse almost. So just think open enough for a basketball to fit between your hip and your hand, and then close it back up. Whew. Let's do 3 more. Channel into that breath. Think about passing something under your hips because that's how long you are reaching. Last one. And return. Very nice. All right, this next one. Oh, actually, we have one more hard one, and then we'll do our little mobility one. All right, so let's do our triceps. So go ahead and bring your hands all the way down. So hands start right above the shoulders. Draw the hands down towards your hips, just like we did at the beginning, and leave them there, all right? Now, you should be able to fit about an ice cube underneath your elbow and the ground. So from here, just bend at the elbows, and then extend away. Bend at the elbows, extend away. We're working the tricep, so the back of the arm. I really want you to work the longest fist away that you can, all right? Hands can be either in a neutral position or they can be facing down towards the mat. It'll work a slightly different part of the tricep. Every time you lengthen, let's see if we can scoop those shoulders away from the ears, just a little bit more. Eye line should be way up at the ceiling above you. And on this next one, let's add in our chest lift. Let's just lift and hold, and we'll do 6 more. Hold the lift, bend it just the elbows. Really try to keep that shoulder joint as stable as possible. We're halfway there on this one. Check in on that space between the chin and the chest. Coming up on our last one here. Exhale, extend, lift a little higher if you can, and release everything down. All right, now we get to do the nice bit. So we're gonna kind of just combine all of those movements we just did into a nice arm circle. So let's start by bringing the hands right up above the shoulders. punching knuckles towards the ceiling. And we're gonna exhale, hands toward the mat, flip the palms, sweep out in your snow angel, and then draw the hands up towards each other in the center again. So it's exhale, reach down towards the mat, flip the palms, open away like you're making a snow angel, and then draw those hands back together up the midline. Right, and this should just feel kind of nice, right? We're still working. We're still working against the banded resistance. So you should feel the chest, the shoulders, a little bit of the triceps to maintain the length in the arm. But really what I want you to think about is the head of that shoulder just spinning in the joint. So we're working through all of the angles of our ball and socket joint here. Let's do 2 more in this direction. Trying to stop right when you're above your chest here. And on this one, hold it up at that center position, and we're gonna switch directions. So this time, you come out away from the midline, then scoop to your hips, and then you lift to come back to your starting position. So we're reversing the direction we were going in. And again, I like to exhale as I scoop to my hips, because that's when I have the most resistance working against the band. And even though this is feeling nice, we're working on that shoulder rotation. Let's make sure that we're still working through the length in the arm. So I still want you to think about reaching under the hips as you come towards the center, reach toward the ceiling as you come up through the middle, and reach away for your fist bumps as you come out towards the sides. Last one in this direction. And draw up through the center. All right, I'm gonna give you guys one more here. This is a little bit of a coordination exercise. So let's see if we can get our brains moving as well. So go ahead and exhale. So start with your hands right above your shoulders. We're gonna exhale down towards our hips with both hands, all right? Now with one hand, we're gonna come up in our lift, just like we did our lift and lower, all right? With the other hand, you're gonna come out just like your snow angel. And we're gonna try to do those together. All right, ready? So I'm gonna go left arm lift, right arm snow angel, draw back to center, and then switch sides. Right arm lift, left arm snow angel, and then back to center. Let's do 4 more on each side. So just working a little bit of the brain power here, trying to make sure that we can get those hands moving in different directions at the same time. 2 more. Try to have those movements happen concurrently. So you're reaching your end point and your starting point at the same time with both hands. Last one. And center and release your bands. Nice work. All right, we are done with our band for right now. So feel free to get rid of that for a little bit. And we're gonna flip on over and do a little bit of work in the prone position on our front, all right? Now we just did a bunch of work in those abdominals. So let's just start with a little extension just to release them a little bit. So hands are out in front of you, okay? Shoulders, elbows are in front of the shoulders. Go ahead and have the hands approximately parallel to one another. And when you're ready, you're just gonna press into your hands and elbows. Think about looking out in front of you just a little bit. Still draw the shoulders down the back to get a little release in the front of the body. And then bring it back down, release. Exhale, extend, stretch out of the crown of the head, press into the palms and elbows. Think about pulling your elbows under you without actually moving them. And then draw back down. Let's do 2 more like that. Exhale, press up. Inhale, slowly bring it back down. Exhale, press. Roll the shoulders back and bring it back down. All right, let's come all the way down. Rest your forehead on the mat here. And we're gonna bring our hands out in front of us. And we're gonna do a half Superman here, okay? So remember, if the Superman feels a little unstable, you can always leave your head down here, all right? So I'm gonna show you exercise. Option A is to lift the head and the shoulders at the same time into a little extension here, all right? Option B is keep the head down and just lift the hands up off the mat. Both are gonna be super hard, all right? So pick your option and let's do a few reps here. So go ahead and inhale, prepare, get long. Exhale, lift the arms. Choose whether or not you wanna lift the head. It's not a big movement. Feel that contraction all down that mid-back, and head is looking straight down and come on down. Quick release here. We're gonna do about 3 more of those with a 5 to 10 second hold at the top. Ready, lift the arms, lift the head if you choose. Back of the neck stays nice and long. You should be looking straight down at the floor. Fingertips are reaching away from your head. Shoulder blades are stuck onto those ribs, and release down to the mat. 2 more. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, lift the arms. Little extension. Feeling that work through that mid-back. Using that breath, send it into the side body and around the shoulder blades. And release down. All right, we've got 1 more here. I felt myself go a little into a shrug there. So let's have everyone do a quick shoulder roll back to set those shoulder blades down and towards the armpits. All right, here we go. Ready, inhale, prepare. Exhale, reach the hands up and the head if you choose. Stay nice and long. We're looking for the beginning of a dive here. And we're gonna hold for 3, 2, 1, and release. Whew, nice work. All right, this next exercise is going to add on to that a little bit. So we're gonna go into a swim, all right? So we're gonna come up into that extension, either with the body or just lift the arms. And we're gonna go alternating one arm after the other, just like we're swimming. So when you're ready, come on down into that starting position. We're going to start by lengthening the arms away with an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift the arms and head if you choose. And then we're gonna swim. So lift the right arm and then the left arm. I switched my rights and my lefts, but that's okay. Trying to keep the chest as stable as possible. We're isolating from those shoulder joints, alternating one in front of the other. Maybe it's a little dog paddle. Make sure that gaze is straight down towards the mat, feeling that burn in the tops of the shoulders through the mid-back to stabilize. We've got 3, 2, 1, and release. All right. Bad news is we have 1 more set of those. Good news is we're getting stronger. Okay. Woo. Set yourself up here. Let's do a big inhale to prepare. Think about 3-dimensional breathing here. Exhale, peel the fingers and head up off the mat. Get long. And then it's lift and lower in opposition with those arms here. Now, if it's really uncomfortable overhead, you can take this out to a little bit of a Y position, okay? Also remember, we're not actually swimming. You're not getting any points for speed. So work in a controlled range of movement. And we'll go for 3, 2, and 1. And release. All right, really, really nice work. Okay, we have one more movement. Now, all of this is focused on countering what we did with our flexion. So now we're working in a little bit of extension just to kind of create that nice composed core. All right, for this next one, we're gonna start with our elbows in practice arms. So we have a 90-degree angle at our elbows. The big arm bone, so your upper arm, is straight out from your shoulders, right? So if you think if you started in a T position, all you would do is bend the elbow to bring it into a 90-degree angle. Big tendency here is to drop the shoulders down towards the mat. So press into the hands to lift the shoulder joint away from the mat. Now from here, we're going to exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades to lift the arms up off the mat. Then we're going to shoot the arms out to a Y and add in that extension if it feels okay. And then everything is gonna return at once. So this requires a little bit of coordination because we're doing it as a 3-part movement. So 1, lift the elbows and arms. 2, shoot out into your Y position, extend. 3, draw everything back to the starting position as 1. We're gonna do 5 more total. Lift, out to your Y, extend, draw back everything to the starting position. Cactus arms. Lift up, feel the shoulder blades retract. Extend out, keep that neck long. Draw back to the starting position. 3 more. Retract, extend, big Y, and then slowly peel back to the mat. Last 2. Feel that lift isolated in the mid-back. Extend out, feel the extension in the spine. Back to center. Last 1. It's lift, extend, and center. Woo. All right. Go ahead and come on up. Woo. Into a comfortable seated position. We'll take a little stretch here. Let's just start by putting our hands behind our head for a chest stretch. So bring those hands behind the head, press your head into your hands, and then I want you to think about pressing your elbows back away from your body, right? So picture if I was to come up and push Jen's elbows behind her, all right? That's the kind of tension that you're trying to create here, all right? Whew. Feeling some length in the back of the neck. Maybe you want to use those thumbs to give yourself a little neck massage back there. And go ahead and release there. We did do some triceps work. So let's take one hand behind the head, and you can take the other and give yourself a little pull at that elbow. If this is an uncomfortable position, if you have a towel, you can also hold the towel in your top hand and grab the towel behind you for a little bit of a less overhead position. And let's release there. Switch sides. Left arm comes up. Grab onto that left elbow. Finding the length in the tricep, back of the arm here. And go ahead and release that. And let's end with a couple of neck movements just to release from the cervical spine. So let's take the right ear towards the right shoulder. Remember, you can always add that top arm as a weight. Not a pull, but just kind of lay it on top of your head there. Just to intensify the stretch a little bit. All right, remove that hand. And now, instead of going ear to shoulder, I want you to look towards your right shoulder, and then you're gonna look down towards that collarbone. Should feel slightly more in the back. Same idea with the hand. You can rest it along the back of the head now to give yourself just a little extra. And go ahead and release that. Let's take those on the opposite side. Left ear towards left shoulder. Start without your hand, just kind of feel where you're at on that side. And then if it's feeling good and like you want a little more, you can add in that extra weight of your limb. Make sure we keep the breathing here nice and steady. Feeling the stretch from the ear all the way down towards the tip of the shoulder. Let's release there. Start by looking towards your left shoulder and then look down at that collarbone. Feeling the stretch down the back and side of the right neck, right side of the neck. And again, if that is feeling all right, you can add in that little bit of pressure behind your head this time to add some juice. And then go ahead and release that. And let's end with one big look over your right shoulder. Back to center. One big look over your left shoulder. Back to center. And you guys are done for the day. Thank you again for joining. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and we will see you soon. Thanks again, Jen.